Welcome to the Political Ferret Show. New content will be uploaded every Wednesday and Sunday, and if you like this kind of content, consider becoming a Patreon and help with just $1 a month to make the change possible. Oh, this is just a quickie for today. You see, Erdogan, the overboss of Turkey and self-proclaimed leader of the faith or something like that, more or less declared war on Austria. I mean, not in the literal sense, but kind of. And this is quite funny if it wasn't so sad. So you might know or you might not know, Austria has a rather new government, and we had before a center-left government, or let's say center-center government, and from the parties that we have right now, the most right ones are in charge. So what does this mean? Well, it means for Austria that we are as right-wing as it could get. There is pretty much no other alternative that would move us more further right. But if you take this right and left dichotomy and compare it with the rest of the world, I would say they are rather centrist. A lot of people would say they are quite left-wing in the end, especially if you compare them with Islam, who is a little bit more traditional and I would say right-wing. So much for, oh, this evil far-right Austrians, yeah. So this ultra far-right evil guys are pretty pro-European Union. They are not really globalist, or let's say one half of them are globalist and the other are more or less nationalistic, but also not really hardcore. So they are so mundane centrists in the end that it makes absolutely no sense to say way more about that. So the interesting thing is they put out an Islam Gesetz, a law for Islam, which stated the rights and the duties for people of this certain faith. And this is quite new, and a lot of these things is controversial, at least from the point of the Islamists and the lefties. And some of these aftermatches from this law of Islam is that some mosques will be closed, and this comes as quite as a shock for these guys, especially that it hits exactly these mosques who have very close ties to Erdogan. In the end, we close down now 7 mosques, and there will be an expulsion of at least 40 imams, more perhaps to come. And besides that, it has nothing to do with the Islam law. There will be welfare cuts that will hit a lot of the Muslim population rather hard, to say it the least. So why do we that? Well, because we have in the middle of Vienna exactly this picture. We have schools where young children get absolutely radicalized. And again, a lot of people in Europe say that, and a lot of Americans come up and say, but that is not terrorism. We don't talk about terrorism. We talk about people who pretty much say, okay, we are here in a nation that we pretty much do not like, and we will take them over. Not by terrorism, but by slowly creeping Islamization. And this is quite a problem, especially if they have pretty much money from the state. Because the state gave them money. The last government gave them money, and well, the new government will not. And they will close them down. And of course, they do not like that. So, as we have seen with their little children, and we have a lot of pictures where children celebrate, well, things that we do not consider very cool, and we see them with this fascistic symbol, with the greeting of the wolf, and we know that a lot of grey wolves are in Austria, and they make troubles. They make troubles in the end, and we do not like them. We pretty much stand on the position that we say we outlawed the Nazis, so we can outlaw everything else that is fascistic. And I know it is not in concurrence with the Americans and their free speech, but we don't have free speech here. We decided to go down that way. There is a positive thing in that, and there is a negative thing in that. I know. If you prevent free speech, it's like poison gas. It's a good idea until the wind turns and hits yourself. I know. But this is what we do. We decided that some things can be outlawed, some ideas can be outlawed, and this is pretty much the way to say, okay, parts of Islam, at least parts of it, are not compatible with us, so we get rid of that. And they have not the chance like they have in America, where they say, but it is free speech and we are free. It is not the case here. They can't say that because we outlaw different things too. So what does Erdogan say now? Well, he pretty much said, oh, they can't throw out our religious representatives. If they do that, we will take action. Okay, man, what do you want to do? You can't declare war, you can't send more of them. I mean, you can try that, but how long can they live? They do not get a lot of money over here for doing nothing anymore. And of course, he will point out how Islamophobe we are, and at this point we know exactly what Islamophobe means. It means someone who knows a lot about Islam and way more than he's supposed to know about Islam. And he can try to say, okay, kill all these evil Austrians, and then we have a civil war on hand, and we are still more, and we have guns too. Or you can try to make another siege of Vienna, but it did not work in the past, and I think it will not in the future. I hope the Polish guys come over again and help a little bit out. I think they will. So when Erdogan now points out that Austria is an Islamophobe nation, he makes us a wonderful present. Because a lot of people who thought, oh, where do I want to go? Will I go to France or to Austria or to Germany? They will say, okay, now Austria is now one of these Islamophobic nations where I get something in my thesis if I say something like, oh, I will want to kill all these Western people, so I go to Germany because they love us, and I will not go to Austria. And I hope a lot of people who are already there will also go to Germany. Have fun, Germany. So, well, this is the funny thing with Erdogan today, because what does he want to do? I mean, what can he do? He can do nothing, absolutely nothing. He can scream as loud as he wants. He can't do nothing, and this is rather funny.